Do you understand you've had 17 tickets in this court?
Yes, ma'am.
So why are you saying something that is totally not true?
I'm not lying.
Okay, whatever, sir. You know what happens on a docket? It shows who the attorneys are. I was not your lawyer on any of these tickets. Mr. Jordan, in a few moments, you're going to be held in contempt of court and you're going to be doing some additional jail time. Is there anything else you need today?
Yes, ma'am, I understand, but I will have to find someone to watch my dogs.
What you're about to see isn't just one courtroom moment. It's a pattern. Multiple defendants, multiple cases, but the same underlying issue: misunderstanding the system, pushing back against authority, and testing a judge's patience. From unpaid tickets and confusion over past rulings, to repeated failures to appear, to probation violations that spiral into custody. This is a real-time look at how small legal problems can snowball into serious consequences. Watch closely because the tension builds fast, and the judge doesn't hesitate to take control when things go off track. The real question is, are these defendants being treated unfairly, or are they digging themselves deeper with every word?
September 3rd at 10 o'clock a.m. We'll see where you are, Mr. Jordan.
Okay, can I ask you a question?
Certainly.
So because I know some of the actual tickets I had paid, so I'm just trying to keep up with what's going on right now.
None of these tickets are paid, sir. I wouldn't be telling you that they're
Ma'am, I have my receipts. I tried to explain this to you before.
I know, but those are different tickets, not these ones.
Correct. Mr. Jordan has 17 minutes.
You had 17 tickets. These are the ones that are left.
Okay, so what I was trying to explain is like when he wrote me the no proof of insurance, which I had insurance, when he wrote me that driving on suspended for that particular ticket, you had told me to pay the driving on the suspended parts, and I did that. The only thing that I thought that I had left was the civil infractions.
The driving while license suspended is the one you put $210 on, sir. And I just told you that I'm transferring that $210 to some of the civil infractions and giving you credit for time served on the driving while license suspended. So your $210 can go towards one of the civil infractions and you can get credit on the driving while license suspended. This is the same thing I explained to you last time, unless you want to just put it on the driving while license suspended, and then you'll owe another $210 because that won't be credited in two places.
All I said was I was trying to understand what was going on.
And I explained it to you 3 times now.
Okay.
Do you understand it yet?
May I have a court date where I can actually come in? Because I would like to pull the transcripts. I'm being honest with you because I have been trying to only explain myself when I be on Zoom. And when I try to explain to you what me and you talked about from one court date to the next, you tell me that I'm lying to you, and I have never lied to you about what you have told me.
I say that you do not understand. You are not hearing and you are not listening. You can
I'm
pull
talking about previous court dates.
Stop talking over me, please. You can pull whatever transcript you want to pull. That's up to you. You're not coming in. This is in. If you want to pull a transcript so you can review that, you go ahead. You can call them and find out how much it costs to get those transcripts. That's up to you.
If you're not, it don't matter. It don't matter.
I think you don't listen well, is what I do think.
I do listen well. Miss, what I'm trying to explain to you is it was like 4 court dates ago, and we had a conversation, and you told me something, and I'd done that. And then when I came back to court, I tried to tell you that, and you told me you never told me that. I have went through this with you a few different times. When you asked me why was these tickets so old and still pending, I told you because every time I came to court, the prosecutor always said that they want to see if I can get my license, and they set them aside.
Why don't you go ahead and pull the transcripts so that you can prove whatever it is you think you're trying to prove, Mr. Jordan?
All right. I don't see why, nothing. It's just, all right. So I owe how much?
You just told me you were listening, so you should know the number.
You said six something.
$665.
You write this down. Yeah, I mean, I'm being respectful. I don't even understand why you even getting an attitude with me.
Well, maybe if you go back and watch the video, you'll understand it.
I do. Ma'am, you was my lawyer on these cases.
I was not your lawyer on these cases.
All right. Okay.
Do you understand you've had 17 tickets in this court?
Yes, ma'am.
So why are you saying something that is totally not true?
I'm not lying.
Okay, whatever, sir. You know what happens on a docket? It shows who the attorneys are. I was not your lawyer on any of these tickets, Mr. Jordan. Maybe you should stop getting so many tickets and then you wouldn't get them confused.
All right.
Anything you want to talk about today, Mr. Jordan?
I mean, nobody listens to me, so I'm a compulsive liar. So I mean, I don't know anything I'm speaking on. That's why I asked, can I just come into the court on the live instead of doing this over? I have better court dates with you in
Sir,
person.
I'm about done with this docket with you today because you do not listen. I already told you 3 times you're not coming in here into this courthouse. If you want to get a transcript, you can order that. I don't know what
I
else.
understand that. I heard all that.
And well, then stop saying you're going to come into the courthouse because that's not happening right now.
You already said that too.
From you. Mr. Jordan, in a few moments, you're going to be held in contempt of court and you're going to be doing some additional jail time. Is there anything else you need today?
No, ma'am.
All right. Then you have a great day. Goodbye.
I would like to speak with her, Judge. I believe you had previously issued a warrant last time, and I had submitted a bill and informally withdrawn, you could say, on this case. I have not had any contact with her until today when I sent the Zoom link.
Okay,
Again, I believe this is on for bond revocation.
okay.
She's
We'll
on bond for
We'll be on the record in 23 CR 300025, State of Kansas versus Heather Nicole Hobbs. Heather Hobbs, if you want credit for being here, get your audio and video started. Both of them, thank you. Miss Hobbs, this has been going on for 2 years, going on 2 years. We need to get this resolved. You've had failures to appear. We've had a previous bond forfeiture started. We've gone through several attorneys. We need to just get this resolved.
Yes, ma'am, I agree.
Have you turned yourself in on your warrant?
I didn't know there was a warrant. We reached out to Heath to ask him if there was one a couple weeks ago, and he said not that he could see.
When you say Heath, who do you mean?
The sheriff.
Sheriff Samuels, you mean you reached out to?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Well, what I see is she needs to get herself turned in on that warrant. She has so many bench warrant bond forfeitures. You need to go take yourself to the sheriff's office right now. Don't you have a warrant out for her, Miss Gillette?
I have that a warrant was down and approved by the court.
All right, you need to go. Where are you right now?
I'm in Wichita, ma'am.
You need to go to the nearest sheriff and turn yourself in. That's the direction of the court right now.
Okay.
And I'm going to issue the bond forfeiture. And then we don't have a bondsman apparently. So AAA bail bondsman, are they here?
Not.
Have you talked to your bondsman?
I have not heard from them, and no, I have not talked to them.
Well, they're about to lose a chunk of money. Do we have service on them, Miss Gillette?
Yes, we certified mailed them, Your Honor. There was a return filed on them. There's been so many bond forfeitures in these cases.
Yeah, and sometimes you got to quit setting those aside because they show up. Just because she comes in on Zoom, I'm not going to set her warrant aside. This is just not going to happen. So you get to your sheriff and turn yourself in, and your problems are going to get worse. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Miss
I'd rather
Hobbs?
come into Greenwood County so I don't have to be transferred with my medical conditions.
You get yourself turned in today, or you're going to have yourselves, apparently you and the sheriff have some close relationship that you call him by his first name.
I apologize. I wasn't meaning to be disrespectful, ma'am. It's been a long day.
Well, tell me, yes, I know, but at the same time, though, you do have a close relationship with the Greenwood County Sheriff that you are on a first name familiar basis. Is that correct?
I know him well enough that yes, I've referred to him as Heath.
All right. But he told you didn't have an active warrant?
He said I don't see an active warrant, and I believe that was 2 weeks ago because I hadn't heard anything about when court was. And today I got notification. Today there was court. The last court hearing, I got notification just a couple hours prior, and both times I had been working or sick, and both. So I have 5 sober living houses that I co-own, as well as a nonprofit for human
I
trafficking victims.
remember you, yeah.
And so I have to have more than a couple hours notice. I don't look at my phone constantly, so
Well, every time you come to court, I give you the court date, and it's usually several months ahead of time. So I don't know why you don't come to court any more than you do. I don't just give you a couple hours notice to come to court. I give you a couple months. All
no,
right. Well,
I appreciate it.
if you want to turn yourself into Sheriff Samuels,
Could I turn
Sure.
myself in tomorrow so I can find someone to watch my dogs?
no,
This right here is a turning point, and it's bigger than it looks. When a judge mentions contempt of court, that's no longer about tickets or confusion. It's about courtroom behavior. Contempt can mean fines, jail time, or both, and it's triggered when the court believes someone is being disruptive, disrespectful, or refusing to follow instructions. Notice what led to this moment: repeated interruptions, circling arguments, and a refusal, intentional or not, to accept the court's explanations. From a legal standpoint, the judge has already clarified the financial breakdown, adjusted credits, and even offered a payment plan. At this stage, continuing to argue the same points can be seen as obstruction rather than clarification. So here's the question. Do you think Mr. Jordan is genuinely confused and trying to defend himself? Or is he pushing too far and losing credibility with the court? Because in situations like this, perception matters just as much as facts.
Yes, ma'am, I understand, but I will have to find someone to watch my dogs.
well, we'll just see whether you find your dog watcher or we find you first.
Okay, thank you.
Don't thank me. I didn't do anything for you. All right. Judgment is granted on the bond. The defendant is ordered to turn herself in without delay. And when she gets herself turned in, and Mr. McClendon, were you asking to be relieved on this case? Had you?
Your Honor, I will, for the sake of judicial economy, I will not be at this time. I do believe I can hopefully work something out with Ms. Hobbs, and we can get a deal done or get this set for trial.
Okay.
I'll be asking that the court provide a new court date on the records, and just so Ms. Hobbs is aware of it, and I will be in touch with her between now and then.
Mr. McClendon, I will set a hearing for her when I get her in custody. I will not allow her to have a court date at her leisure while she's got an active warrant.
Understandably so, Judge.
All right.
May I withdraw then on the record? Just because I think there's been some issues with the communication of court dates.
Now, do you want to explain what that means? Are you saying you think we're giving her the wrong court dates, or she's just not keeping them?
I
Well,
do
I don't want to
provide.
put you in that spot. I don't want to put you in that spot. I don't want to play you against your client, even if it's justified. I don't want you to be in that spot. So don't answer. At this point, you're allowed to withdraw, but if she keeps going through attorneys, we'll never get this resolved. But I am allowing you to withdraw, and Missy, I know you're not going to like it, but you're going to have to try to find someone else to take her. And I know you'll do it without complaining. Yeah. So, Miss Hobbs, call your bondsman. Maybe he'll watch your dogs. But you just cost him a chunk of money, so maybe you won't. We're in recess, and the defendant again is ordered to turn herself in on that warrant that's been active for a while now. Thank you, Mr. McClendon. You want to take up Howland's?
Judge,
Your
that's a
Honor, am I
JV
excused
case.
then?
Your hearing is over.
Am I excused then from being on here?
You're an absconder on an active warrant. I can't reach out and grab you. I'm not going to say you're excused because I don't consider you excused, but I'm not going to keep you on the docket if that's what you want to know.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
We're on the record in 2023 CR 300032, State of Kansas versus Stubbs, Joseph Carr Stubbs.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. McClendon, how does your client wish to proceed today on his charges? Let's see, we had a preliminary hearing on him, and then the state dismissed
Judge, he's here on a motion to revoke probation.
on misdemeanors, right? They were pled
Yeah.
to misdemeanors on June 21st of 2024. And Mr. Bauer, you're here for that case?
Yes, Your Honor. I'll be covering that case.
Let me find that show cause. We're here on a warrant to show cause why the defendant's probation should not be revoked. In the warrant to show cause, the state is alleging that the defendant failed to find and/or maintain regular full-time or part-time employment, failed to report to his court service officer as directed, failed to pay all fines and costs associated with the case as directed. Mr. Stubbs is entitled, of course, to deny those allegations, to request an evidentiary hearing, to hear the testimony of the state's witness, in this case, Mr. Bauer, and to cross-examine that witness through his attorney, as well as call any witnesses of his own. At this time, Mr. McClendon, does he wish to have that evidentiary hearing?
Your Honor, I received a offer from the state for a resolution on this matter. I have not had the chance to convey it to Mr. Stubbs. If I could get a brief breakout, I think this case could potentially be resolved today.
All right, we'll take a recess at this time. All right, back on the record in 2023 CR 300032, State of Kansas versus Joseph Carr Stubbs. And again, how does he wish to proceed, Mr. McClendon?
Honor, we'd be stipulating to a probation violation.
All right, Mr.
Pursuant
Stubbs.
to an agreement.
Mr. Stubbs, did you hear me a while ago say that you do have a right to an evidentiary hearing and the burden would be on the state to try to prove, if they could, that you violated your probation?
Yes, I did.
And your attorney tells me you're wanting to waive that hearing and that you'll agree that you did violate without having to have your court service officer, Tony Bauer, testify. Is that true? Correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So are you admitting you didn't maintain employment? Are you admitting that you did not maintain employment?
I did have employment. I just did not report it.
Okay. Did you have it consistently throughout the probation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So there was never a time where you didn't have employment. How is he freezing when he's here in the courthouse, Missy? Do you know? Maybe he's not freezing. Maybe he's just being still.
Oh,
Mr.
no,
Stone,
I'm sorry. It was frozen. I'm so sorry.
okay. And did you pay your costs and fines as ordered?
I paid the restitution to my grandmother, but I never paid the court fines.
So you didn't pay the restitution as ordered through the court to get credit for it. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, no, not through the court.
So Mr. Bauer has no way of knowing if you paid restitution because you didn't show him one way or the other. Did you ever show Mr. Bauer
Yeah,
proof?
no, I didn't.
Okay. Did you fail to report, as he says, at least July 19th of 2024, October 16th of 2024, November 19th of 2024? Did you report on those days?
Yes, Your Honor.
You did report?
I did
Okay.
not know.
And he says you've only had contact with him a couple of times. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor. Carrie Seeley was my probation officer, and I never contacted her.
Okay, you never contacted her and you didn't. Okay. All right. Well, I am finding that you have violated your probation by admission and waiver of hearing. Is anyone making you waive this hearing and make these stipulations, or are you doing this because you believe that you have violated?
I believe I violated it, yes.
All right. Well, I will find the defendant has violated his probation. I will revoke that probation. Now, I understand the parties want to recommend jointly a disposition. Ms. Gillette, what is the state's position?
Judge, I believe that he is prepared to pay his costs in full. There's also
Bill,
huh?
will do. May I, Your Honor?
Okay. But
May I proceed? We had a dual agreement as to one way or the other. Judge, my client, he'll be serving 5 days on the weekends if possible. He does currently have employment, and he has 2 children he has to look after as well. That'd be a 5-day sanction. This was a Class C misdemeanor, I believe, and I think his total underlying was 30 days.
Looking at all 3 cases together, a clear pattern emerges. None of these situations started as extreme, but each one escalated due to missed steps, miscommunication, or failure to follow through. In the first case, financial confusion and repeated arguments weakened credibility. In the second, failing to appear and delaying action turned a manageable issue into an active warrant and immediate custody order. And in the third, probation, essentially a second chance, was lost not because of one major violation, but because of repeated small failures, not reporting, not documenting payments, and not following instructions. From a legal perspective, courts prioritize consistency and compliance over explanation. You can argue your case, but you must still follow the process. Once the court believes someone isn't cooperating, the system shifts from flexibility to enforcement very quickly. The takeaway is simple but critical. Show up, follow instructions, and document everything, because small issues don't stay small for long in the legal system. If you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.